For the longest time, I'm trying to figure out who King Skarn is, and in today's video, we got an answer to that. So you know what? Let's just watch it.
Warning, this episode may contain potential spoilers for the upcoming film Godzilla
How would they
x
contain
Kong: The
spoilers
New
if the movie
Empire.
hasn't been
The
out yet?
information discussed here is pure speculation,
It's speculation,
and should not
okay.
be regarded as official or canon to the MonsterVerse. What do
Okay.
real-life animals such as this orangutan
Whoa, what is
have
that
to tell us
orangutan
about
doing?
the new MonsterVerse
Whoa, look at
villain?
him. He looks amazing.
Today, we'll try to do our best to uncover
Yo.
some potential attributes of this new monster and see if we can figure this guy out before the release of GXK.
I can't wait.
Note
Imagine
that there
if
have
this guy is
already
just a
been
fake,
some
and
leaks
there's
circling
actually a
around this new
stronger-
ape titan that may or
stronger
may
villain.
not be officially true. Some of which may have mentioned this ape by its name. Now, this is your last warning before we make mention of a couple of these leaks. For this episode, we will be referring to this new kaiju as Scar King.
Scar
And also,
King.
since we
I
don't
thought it
really
was
have the
Skarn
official
with like
name of
an
the
N,
species
but
that he
apparently it's just
belongs
Scar
to, we'll
King,
be referring to
which-
them
I'm
as
not
the
gonna lie,
Red
Scar King?
Apes. Upon its
Orangutan
first
is
appearance
way
in the
better.
title reveal trailer, many people instantly took note of its glowing eyes, reddish-brown appearance, and lanky build. And some went as far as comparing this fella to the Beast Titan from Attack on
Ooh.
Titan. The big monkey titan that had an absolute field day with all sorts of opponents, ranging from technologically deprived islanders to people who had firearms and other explosive weaponry down to a science. So back to the Scar King, we'll be covering 5 attributes that may give this guy a critical edge when facing off bulky opponents like Kong and Godzilla, using what may be the real-life creature that inspired its design and characteristics, the orangutan.
The
Note
orangutan
that a
feels
direct
way
comparison
bigger, though.
between
I don't know, because
orangutans
this
and
guy's
Scar
skinny.
King
Like,
is
look at him.
not going to be a perfect one-to-one. Remember, all titans are not normal animals and
Yeah.
follow their own rule sets. Instead, this perspective discussed in this episode will use orangutans and
Oh, wow.
gorillas as plausible benchmarks to use as
Orangutan
reference.
and gorillas.
But why
Kong
are
is a
we
gorilla, right?
specifically using
I
an
thought he was an
orangutan
ape.
to compare with Scar King?
Monkey.
Well, there are many clues. The presence of lanky appendages, red coloration of fur, and the fact that orangutans, as far as cognitive abilities go, can be far more complex than that of
Yo,
gorillas,
I'm
which
not
are
gonna lie, I don't
physically
like
more stronger
orangutans.
than orangutans,
I don't
but
mind
aren't
gorillas, but
necessarily as
orangutans scare
crafty.
me. We're like,
Let's delve
okay,
deeper
never
into the
mind.
differences of these two
Oh, wow.
kaijus by assigning them the apes
Imagine
that
he starts
were potentially
driving a
used
car in
as
the
chief
Godzilla X
real-world references. That being African gorillas for the Kong and orangutans for Scar King. Number 1, base differences. Despite being the great ape that is most distantly related to humans, one of the orangutan's most notable attributes is their cognitive ability. In fact, the word orangutan comes from the Mayala words orang hutan, which together mean forest person, for
Forest
obvious
person.
reasons. Male orangutans,
What?
unlike
I
male
did not know
gorillas,
that.
tend to be solitary creatures and are shown to demonstrate aggression towards other males to set up a territory. They can live in groups, and when they do, they show complex social dynamics, including empathy, consoling, and even alliances and coalitions. A much more complex social system than a group of gorillas. These guys, as well as the Kong species, are actually very social creatures. It's extremely rare to see a single male gorilla by itself wandering about. If kept alone and isolated, gorillas tend to get sick, stressed, and even develop symptoms similar to depression.
What?
Sound familiar?
So you're telling me
Yeah,
Kong has
our
depression
boy
because
Kong
he's
has
been-
been alone for a while.
Yeah,
and
Kong has
the
been
worst
alone
place
for
to
a
be
while.
alone at such a young age was Skull Island. Scar King, however, would probably not have any issues with being alone. But does this
Scar
actually
King
mean
wants
that he's
to be
going
alone.
to be alone in the next film?
He's destroying
maybe
everyone.
yes, and maybe no. This
You're
is a
telling me there's
talking
more
point that
than
we're
one?
going to be revisiting later in this episode. Remember that orangutans can form alliances or entities such as the said
no, no
coalitions.
way they're gonna team
Keep
up on
this in
Kong and I
mind
have
as
to
we
beat
move
2
further
monkeys
in
at the
the
same
episode.
time.
Number 2, deception. This category will help us understand that orangutan intelligence is a little more complex than that of gorillas in regards to social interaction. There are not many examples of deception employed by gorillas in the wild. In captivity, there is a recorded instance where the male gorilla would purposefully hide from the mother of the child to play with the infant, despite her not wanting him to do so. Orangutans are a different story. There are many cases where orangutans employ deceptive tactics against other members of their own kind and other species. In one case, certain individuals were seen using foliage to blast their calls through them, modifying their voices and in the act sounding like bigger and more powerful apes. Things get crazier with orangutans in captivity. Ken Allen, a male orangutan at the San Diego Zoo, became well known for its deceptive habit of escaping his enclosure many times and acting innocent when under surveillance. Once the zookeepers would go away, Ken would get right back at trying to escape. This guy went ahead and would teach other orangutans how to get out.
Say they have to stay one step ahead of the very intelligent orangutans. Ken Allen himself hasn't escaped from this exhibit for almost a year now. That doesn't mean he's lost interest. Most people here think he's the mastermind behind these other successful attempts.
You see, apart from being deceptive, this species can actually teach others how to do the same as well.
No way, he's
Another
gonna
fella
mind
known
control.
as
Imagine the
Fu
new
Manchu
King
would
Scorn
fashion a
can mind
lockpick from a
control
wire
Kong.
to let himself out, hiding this tool inside his mouth, understanding that this little device is important for escape. Just like Ken, this orangutan escaped many times. Because this species is basically a
what is he
master
doing?
of deception,
Why is he waving his arms?
we can assume that Scar King will probably have these same attributes. Being an extremely crafty titan means that it would be able to do things Kong can't. Now, admittedly, Kong was a pretty deceptive creature himself as well, as seen in the Battle of Hong Kong, where he successfully lured Godzilla to face away from him.
Okay, listen guys, we don't talk about
This
this.
deceptive nature in Kong is one of the few attributes that he highly outperforms gorillas in. One could say Kong outperforms orangutans in deception as well, but will he be better at this than Scar King?
I don't
If
think
we
so.
think about this for a second, deceit will be one of the many attributes that Scar King will have to be better at, since he already lacks a robust build. Meaning
I think
that
he's just
rather
really
than
powerful.
focusing on strength, this guy would be highly dependent on his wits.
Oh
The
my.
superiority of orangutan
Yo,
intelligence does not end in deceit. Coming up, can these animals give us clues about any potential weaponry?
Oh my, if you guys think this guy is gonna use weapons and stuff, imagine he pulls out a gun. Oh, we're in trouble. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And while you're down there, let me know in the comments, what do you think will happen with this new Godzilla x Kong movie? I can't wait to watch it. And the moment it comes out, you guys know we're gonna be watching it together. So hit that subscribe button. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this, peace.